The abolition of conscience. Is that one of Crary's concepts? It sounds like a ritual dissent article title. What's that supposed to mean? Abolition of conscience. You're saying that liberals have conscience. They're the ones who go around aborting children. Abolition of conscience. Tell you what, I'll go into it with you a little bit. It's a strategic notion of misdirection of ideas that's built into the way that people have ignored what's been happening from time immemorial. Yesterday I was talking about how Lincoln had a Johnson and Kennedy had a Johnson. And then you had Henry Wade from Roe versus Wade frame it all as well. Johnson and Johnson. It's a baby powder, right? Roe versus Wade was about abortion. And John Kennedy evidently just didn't notice that he was getting saddled with a Johnson and Johnson. Maybe he thought he could ward off the pretzel logic by saying that abortion was more likely to be accepted in Japan than America. Kennedy. That was yesterday. Today, I was reminded that Benjamin Spock, no, not Leonard Nimoy, he was the one who wrote, I am not the walrus, I'm not Spock. Yes, you aren't, said little Midori. Benjamin Spock, the baby guy, he was going to run with Martin Luther King for president, as vice president at one point. And how can anybody miss it's a National Lampoon ticket? Because Spock, I don't know which came first, the chicken egg or the rotten egg. But the baby guy hitched up with the non-violent dude who was having extramarital affairs is highly illogical, Mr. Carl. And the people who were doing this stuff had it configured as basketball court. They were covering their opponents. Jet magazine would be loth to open the books on the January 1964 edition. But it clearly shows that Jet magazine was a party to what Gail Burston was going to do. So when Duvall of the Moja, the African American think tank in Pittsburgh, says, I know Bush started AIDS and I support him for it. He's including the killing of Martin Luther King as a statement as part of that operation. I don't care to entertain that value. There's a word for it, doofbaggery. It's usually circle jerk townies who are doofbags. We're supposed to say our consciences are abolished because we let women be women and bygones be bygones. It's not for me to say abortion is right or wrong. I'm not anything at all pro or adversary. I mean, I was in a coma from beatings and death and being used. And that's not an excuse, that's a fact. These abolishers of conscience who think it's neat that they get a liberal all tied up in extramarital affairs by daring him to try to show the truth about the AIDS attack is somehow restoration of conscience. Because we all know that children in Gaza are not what's important. What's important is the Holy Quran. But the children in the womb of liberalism are closer to Allah than the children of Gaza. They're closer to the soul. If you don't believe me, ask Abdul Eisenstadt. Ask Abdul what he thinks. So you abolish conscience the minute you entertain the idea that sex could be for any reason but conception of a child. So that explains why the Lucarellis, Jerry Lucarelli and Lucas Studio people, came to me when I was being brainwashed by Gail Burson's little cult in Pittsburgh, the Neva Corporation, and said we would only, showing off her pricey brassiere, we would only do to have a baby. And these were the Catholics who came to take over the family from my father when he divorced my mother. We would only do to have a baby. So to prove their mettle, they kidnapped, tortured, deafened, used me for sex, abused me, didn't let me go, dragged me through glass, poisoned me with a nerve agent, and said, who's conscious now, dog eyes? And the black man said, he's a white. You might have heard about my dispute with Sabby Sabs. She goes that the Freedom Flotilla madly was like the Black Panthers lunch program. The Lady Panthers lunch program was when Cantu Repertory Theater staged Emoji's Two Virgins Pussy Ball for the benefit of Barack Obama. The Osama, which means super polite, Sama, polite Japanese woman, been laid and turn on the Sin radio, watch Queer Ball, flip out. There's truth to that. There's truth to that. So they ignored that I was warning that not does it unimprove that AIDS was revenge for Auschwitz in 1994, that the Israelis were out for revenge for Auschwitz. So they ignored that. They said it's a twist of Lenin. That covered for the feminist intellectuals in the Gaza Strip, apparently. They ignored it. A gang of predators is committing genocide, and they're tied to 911. Diamond DeGaulis, Kim Kardashian. A gang of predators is committing genocide with the blessings of Iran-Contra people. Why would the people who were clearly going to be next ignore it? Well, because they said it was a twist of Lenin. The Beatles will shine upon your menagerie. I shouldn't be so angry because at least somebody's talking about it without. But I'm deaf and they did something to my eyes because I look at the Miss Beautiful Kyogre. You know, that's highly illogical, Mr. Queerball. Why is it highly illogical? Does it lead to babies jumping out of my socks? Al Gore is one weird fascist. He's complaining that Donald Toon is like Al Capone or somebody, you know. And he's putting a little boy through this because the little boy was seen on a peace march when he was enlisted with Oliver Jew Boy Stone against the Vietnamese. So the Nammies have it, so I can't even look at the Miss Beautiful Kyogre. They need to pull a win out of this somehow. Because somehow Savvy Savs has got to get across that the flotilla isn't just the relic of two virgins pussy ball. It's the it's what the Black Panthers is going to stick in your mouth.